power of silence in cultivating an unshakable mind. Once you have learned to detach from emotions, handle criticism, and let go of what you cannot control, the next level of mastery lies in silence and mental resilience. In a world obsessed with noise, attention, and constant validation, silence is a weapon, a tool that few truly understand. Most people talk to fill space, to gain approval, or to prove themselves. But the most powerful individuals know that speaking less often reveals more. They listen, observe, and calculate before they act or speak. When they finally do speak, every word carries weight. Silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to analyze, to second-guess, to reveal their intentions. When you master silence, you shift power dynamics in your favor. Consider a negotiation. The person across from you presents an offer expecting an immediate response. But instead of reacting, you pause. You let the silence stretch. The longer you wait, the more unsettled they become. They second-guess themselves. They fill the silence with compromises, concessions, and desperation. Silence creates tension, and tension creates leverage. The same principle applies in daily life. When insulted, stay silent. When provoked, do not react immediately. Most people expect a reaction, anger, defense, retaliation. But when you give them nothing, they lose power over you. Your silence forces them to face their own emotions while you remain unshaken. Silence is also a tool for observation. When you speak less, you notice more. You pick up on the subtle shifts, the hesitation in a voice, the nervous posture, the contradiction in words. Most people miss these cues because they are too busy talking. But when you master silence, you gather information while revealing nothing. You become a strategist, a silent force, someone others cannot predict. The world's most influential figures are rarely the loudest in the room. They understand that power lies not in constant speaking but in strategic restraint. Speaking less does not mean knowing less, it means knowing more. If you want to cultivate influence, start practicing restraint. In conversations, pause before speaking. Listen more than you talk. Let others reveal themselves first. Silence becomes even more powerful in moments of high emotion. Anger, frustration, insult. These are tests of discipline. Stay silent. By controlling your speech, you demonstrate mastery over yourself. Discipline commands respect. It signals that you are not controlled by fleeting feelings or the chaos of the world. Now let's shift to training your mind to remain calm no matter what. Your mind is your battlefield. Every thought you allow in shapes your reality. Doubt, fear, hesitation. These are enemies that must be conquered. The strongest individuals are not those who never feel negative thoughts, but those who refuse to be controlled by them. To train an unshakable mind, you must cultivate mental habits daily. Gratitude to counter negativity. Discipline to override laziness. Detachment to reduce suffering. Just as your body grows stronger through repeated resistance, your mind becomes resilient through consistent practice. Mental toughness is not born in moments of crisis. It is forged in the daily habits and small acts of discipline. Every day, train yourself to be unfazed. Pause before reacting. Breathe before responding. Most people are slaves to their emotions, reacting impulsively, acting out of fear, surrendering to frustration. The ones who master their minds control everything. This is how warriors think, how leaders operate. They move through life with purpose and a calm rooted so deep that others cannot comprehend it. Mental strength is built in the small, everyday moments. Waking up early when sleep tempts you. Staying silent when you could argue. Pushing forward when every part of you wants to quit. Every challenge strengthens the mind like a weight strengthens the body. Detachment remains central. By separating yourself from emotions, outcomes, and external chaos, you gain an advantage over those constantly reacting. Detachment does not mean indifference, it means control. You may not control the world, but you can always control your response. Picture a storm. Most people are tossed around by the winds of circumstance, struggling against forces they cannot change. Those with unshakable minds stand still, grounded. They let the storm pass around them. They conserve energy for what truly matters. They do not fight the uncontrollable. They move with purpose, strategically, deliberately. Discipline is equally essential. The mind naturally seeks comfort and ease. Most people give in. They succumb to distractions, procrastination, and self-doubt. But discipline rewires the mind. By consistently choosing what strengthens you over what feels easy, you become unstoppable. Start small. Commit to habits that reinforce mental strength. Meditate to sharpen focus. Exercise to reinforce discipline. Read to expand knowledge. Keep your word to yourself, even in small promises. Each small act compounds over time, forming an unshakable mind. The world will test you. People will challenge you. Life will throw obstacles in your path. But when you have trained your mind, nothing external can shake you. You move through life with confidence, control, and power that few ever achieve. And when others ask how you remain so composed, so unbothered, the answer is simple. You trained for this. You built this. Nothing can take it from you. Mastering action in silence and letting results speak. Once you have mastered silence and trained an unshakable mind, the next step is to understand the true power of action. In a world obsessed with words, announcements, and validation, the strongest individuals let their actions do the talking. Real power moves quietly. It does not seek attention. It does not demand recognition. It simply executes, and the results speak for themselves. Observe the loudest people in any room. They crave recognition. They announce their intentions. They explain themselves endlessly, seeking approval. Yet often these are the weakest. Their energy is diluted by the need to impress. Their focus is fragmented. They talk about progress, but rarely achieve it. Now contrast this with the strongest individuals. They move quietly. They strategize. They work relentlessly in the background. They do not boast about their plans, and they do not need applause to validate their efforts. By the time others notice their progress, the results are undeniable. This is the power of moving in silence. To master this, start by keeping your ambitions private. Work relentlessly, but share only when necessary. Let the world wonder. Let them question how you remain composed, how you stay unshaken, and how your progress seems effortless. The less they know, the more control you have. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. Every time you resist the urge to explain, defend, or justify yourself, you build a mental edge. Every moment you work without external validation, you reinforce your self-reliance. Over time, this transforms into a presence that commands respect effortlessly. People notice results. They respect mastery. They are drawn to competence. But they cannot manipulate or unsettle someone who moves in silence. Another key principle is execution over words. Words are cheap. Anyone can promise, boast, or make claims, but results are tangible. Results do not lie. Results cannot be manipulated. The moment you shift your focus from talking to doing, you step into the realm of true influence. History is full of examples. The most impactful leaders, innovators, and creators were not the ones constantly talking about their next move. They understood that power lies in action. They built, they created, they executed, quietly, strategically, with precision. And when the world finally noticed, the impact was undeniable. Working in silence does not mean avoiding recognition entirely. It means earning it through results, not through announcements. It means letting your success speak for itself while you continue building, learning, and refining. People will start to pay attention, not because you demanded it, but because you achieved what they could only talk about. Strategic silence also enhances your ability to observe and understand the environment. When you talk less, you notice more. You see opportunities others miss. You understand motivations. You detect hidden patterns. While others are busy reacting, complaining, or seeking validation, you are positioning yourself, moving with foresight, and making deliberate choices that compound over time. To cultivate this habit, resist the urge to explain your plans. The more you reveal, the more others can anticipate, question, or sabotage your progress. Focus on execution daily. Small, consistent steps in silence build monumental results over time. Let outcomes prove your mastery. Instead of seeking praise or validation, let your achievements tell your story. Observe more than you speak. Gather information. Understand people. React strategically, not emotionally. The combination of silence, strategic action, and results-driven focus transforms you into someone almost untouchable. Your energy is no longer wasted on impressing or proving yourself. You are freed to focus entirely on growth, mastery, and execution. The ultimate lesson here is this: talking creates noise, action creates influence. Words can be forgotten, misinterpreted, or ignored. Results, however, are permanent. Results are undeniable. Results demand recognition, whether you seek it or not. When you master this, you stop chasing external validation. You stop over-explaining. You stop reacting to every minor provocation. Instead, you move through life with quiet purpose, laser-focused attention, and an unshakable presence. People will notice. They will respect you. But most importantly, you will know that your power comes not from words, but from action, discipline, and mastery of yourself. Emotional mastery and turning challenges into opportunities. Once you have learned to move in silence and let your actions speak, the next step toward mastery is emotional control under extreme circumstances. Life is unpredictable. Obstacles will appear without warning. Failures will test your resolve. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will challenge your patience. The difference between those who succeed and those who crumble is how they manage their emotions. Most people allow emotions to dictate their actions. Anger, frustration, disappointment, fear. They react impulsively. They make decisions in the heat of the moment. They give away their power, allowing temporary feelings to control permanent outcomes. But the truly unshakable individual learns to observe emotions without surrendering to them. Emotional mastery begins with awareness. Recognize your emotions without judgment. Feel them, acknowledge them, but do not let them drive your decisions. Anger is a signal, not a command. Frustration is a cue, not a cause for panic. When you detach from the immediate intensity of emotions, you reclaim control over your mind and your actions. Consider setbacks. Rejection, failure, or loss is inevitable in life. Most people let these experiences define them. They dwell, they complain, they sink into despair. The unshakable individual, however, sees setbacks as data, not disaster. Each challenge becomes a lesson, an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the next obstacle. Imagine someone insults you publicly. A natural response is anger, self-defense, or retaliation. But what happens when you simply smile, remain calm, and walk away? You rob the instigator of their power. They expected a reaction, but you gave none. You remain undefeated, composed, and stronger for it. This is silent dominance. It is the quiet, often invisible strength that commands respect without aggression. Now consider repeated failures. Some will crumble after one setback. Others will lose hope after a series of disappointments. But those who master emotional control treat failure as information. They analyze what went wrong, adjust their approach, and move forward. Failure is no longer an endpoint. It is a stepping stone toward mastery. To cultivate this level of control, you must practice daily mental discipline. Pause before reacting. Ask yourself, does this situation truly affect my long-term goals? Is my response necessary, or am I giving away my power? Consistently choosing non-reaction builds a shield that protects you from the trivialities of life. Visualization is another crucial tool. Picture yourself as someone who remains calm under pressure. Imagine a version of yourself who does not flinch at insults, who does not crumble in adversity, who navigates challenges with clarity and confidence. The mind is powerful. What you repeatedly visualize, you eventually become. Reinforce this image daily until it becomes your reality. Emotional detachment does not mean suppressing feelings. It means controlling them. You can experience joy, sadness, excitement, or disappointment, but you remain in command. Your emotions serve you, they do not dictate your life. The strongest individuals understand this principle. They respond strategically, not emotionally. A practical method for developing this skill is to step back in emotionally charged situations. The next time someone provokes you, pause, observe your feelings. Ask yourself if this truly matters in the larger scheme of your life. Most often, the answer is no. By choosing not to react, you take back your power. Another cornerstone of emotional mastery is having a clear purpose. When you have a strong vision, petty distractions no longer affect you. Your focus becomes unbreakable. You understand that your energy is valuable and cannot be wasted on things that do not serve your goals. Life belongs to those who master themselves. While others panic, you remain calm. While others react impulsively, you respond with clarity. The unshakable individual understands that emotions are fleeting sensations. They do not allow temporary feelings to derail long-term goals. They persist because they have trained their mind to see obstacles as stepping stones, not roadblocks. This is what separates those who succeed from those who merely survive. Finally, embrace the truth that every challenge is an opportunity. Life is not meant to be easy. Every difficulty is a chance to strengthen your mind, refine your strategy, and demonstrate your resilience. The unshakable mind does not ask for life to be fair. It does not demand ease. It adapts, it overcomes, and it thrives. Master emotional control. Treat setbacks as lessons. Respond strategically, not impulsively. Let challenges mold you, not break you. By doing this, you transform obstacles into opportunities and forge a life of resilience, power, and unshakable confidence.